In 1992, Marvel decided to finally bring the fan-favorite character Ghost Rider out of the pages of their comic books to the screens of movie theaters. Though there was some interest initially, nothing solid would ever happen until 2003, when writer and director Mark Steven Johnson took on the helm of the project. Finally, in 2007, the first Ghost Rider was released, with Nick Cage playing Johnny Blaze, the motorcycle stuntman who became the Ghost Rider, a bounty hunter of demons after selling his soul to a demon named Mephisto. Though the movie wasn't super successful, Marvel greenlit a sequel. In 2011, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance was released with Cage reprising his role and Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor directing it. Neveldine and Taylor were in high spirits and planning a third film, despite the negative reviews. But it's 2025 and we haven't heard a squeak about it, so what really happened? Let us dive right in and answer that question. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The financial reality that killed the franchise. Let us first look at the box office reception of both movies. Though the first film was initially just $75 million, by the time of its release, the movie had spent $110 to $120 million. It had the highest President's Day opening weekend at the time of its release in February 2007, with a total of $52,022,908 American dollars. The movie broke records held by Daredevil and 50 First Dates, and was only surpassed in 2010 when Valentine's Day was released. The total earnings of the movie were $228.7 million. But not everything was hunky-dory, as Nicolas Cage was nominated for the Golden Raspberry Awards for the Worst Actor. But even with generally unfavorable reviews, a 4.2 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, and its clunky narrative, the studio saw nothing but dollar signs, and a sequel was all set to be released. History repeated itself once again with Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, as the film opened at number 3 in 3,174 theaters and reached the top of the ranks to number 1 on the second weekend. The critics remained unamused and called the movie a mess that made the first film look Oscar-worthy. Yikes. Nicolas Cage was once again nominated for the Golden Raspberry Award for the Worst Actor, and the movie too earned a nomination in the Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel category. However, the budget office earnings were not good enough to dim the disappointment of the critical response. It wasn't a flop, but it didn't earn huge bucks either. The most significant factor in the death of Ghost Rider 3, the no from Nicolas Cage. After the release of Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, Neveldine mentioned in an interview that there have been talks about a sequel. He also said that Cage was very enthusiastic about doing the role and was very much on board. Taylor confirmed the news, calling Cage an incredible force and an acting weapon. We don't know what happened in the year between the director's interview in 2012, where Cage was enthusiastic about the third Ghost Rider installation, and the next Cage interview, where things would soon start to fall apart. In 2013, Steven Weintraub of Collider sat down for an interview with Nicolas Cage, who was on a promotional tour for the DreamWorks animation film The Croods, in which Cage played Grug. Weintraub asked Cage if Ghost Rider 3 was still a possibility. The good news is that Cage was positive about it, but the bad news is that he said it would have to be without him. Cage, a huge comic book nerd who enjoyed being the Ghost Rider, also fanned a few flames of hope when he added that he doesn't want to say never, but there's a high probability he isn't going to be in the third film. The rights reversion that adds to the fate. In the late 1990s, Marvel was losing money left and right, and about to go bankrupt, so they sold off many of their comic book franchises. Sony, a media giant by then, bought Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Luke Cage, and Thor. Ghost Rider was co-owned by Sony and Columbia Pictures. In 2013, after the failure of both of the Ghost Rider movies, the rights reverted back to Marvel. Talking to Entertainment Weekly, Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, explained that usually when characters come back to Marvel, it's because they were not well received. He also watered down the hopes of fans by saying that just because Ghost Rider has potential, they didn't plan on making another movie. 2013 was a significant year for Ghost Rider, as the rights seemed to slip out of the hands of Marvel once again. But this time, thanks to a dispute with Gary Friedrich, the comic book writer who created Ghost Rider with Roy Thomas and Mike Ploog in 1972 for the 5th issue of Marvel Spotlight. Friedrich claimed that he owned the rights to the character, while Marvel argued that he was working as a freelancer for the company when Ghost Rider was made, and it included the work of other Marvel employees. As his work was made for hire under Marvel's employment, the work belonged to Marvel. The judge sided with Marvel as he found that the contracts between Friedrich and Marvel were ambiguous. Some ill-fated attempts. Directed by Sean Levy, the 2024 film Deadpool and Wolverine was a smash hit. It garnered over $1 billion worldwide and became the highest-grossing R-rated film of all time. You can't call yourself a Marvel fan if you didn't watch the movie, which also won 3 Saturn Awards and the Critics' Choice Movie Awards for Best Comedy. The key feature of the movie was the innumerable cameos from beloved characters, which led to fans screaming their heads off in the theaters. The nerd-gasmic roles included Jennifer Garner as Elektra, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, and Wesley Snipes as Blade. It even included fan casts like John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Channing Tatum as Gambit, and Henry Cavill as an alternate Wolverine. Guess who else came very close to being in the movie? If you said Nick Cage as Ghost Rider, you're right on the money. Ryan Reynolds, who plays the merc with the mouth, told Collider that he was in a conversation with Cage, but it didn't end up happening. Fans were extremely disappointed that they almost got to see the Ghost Rider ride once again. Despite the critics spitting all over the franchise, the fandoms favored the movies and Cage a lot. He would have fit right in, too, as each character was chosen to represent the rich legacy of Marvel before the MCU grew to be the giant it is today. Cage played Ghost Rider before the MCU was even in its cradle. Movies like Ghost Rider paved the way for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to begin and flourish. There were many naysayers to the idea too, as viewers thought that the main focus of the movie was about Johnny Storm and Pyro, played up by Aaron Stanford. Ghost Rider, amidst all the fire-powered superheroes, would have crowded the entire film up. While Johnny Blaze didn't have much luck in the MCU after Sony gave back the rights to Marvel, other Ghost Riders did make an appearance. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. enlisted Gabriel Luna to play Robbie Reyes, the fifth character to become Ghost Rider, and an iteration who drives a muscle car instead of the motorcycle we remember Cage's character with. In 2019, Hulu announced 2 series that were about to premiere in 2020, Hellstrom and Ghost Rider, with Gabriel Luna playing the titular anti-hero. Ingrid Escajeda was appointed to be the showrunner and promised a brand new iteration of the Ghost Rider. Due to some creative differences between Hulu and the creative team of Ghost Rider, Hulu decided to pull the plug on the series. Makes us wonder if Blaze should have just made a deal with the demon to make him a famous character in our universe. A movie to look forward to. In the 28th issue of Ghost Rider, which was published in August 1992, Ghost Rider sees a vision that warns him about the resurrection of the mother of all demons, Lilith. So Ghost Rider puts a team together, consisting of Blade, Morbius, Danny Ketch, Vicky Montesi, Hannibal King, Sam Buchanan, and Frank Drake. Created by Howard Mackie, Bobby Chase, and Andy Kubert, the Midnight Suns team has a lot of fans who are all dying to see a live-action adaptation on the big screen. With speculation spreading about plans for a Midnight Suns movie, Apocalyptic Horseman of the Nexus Point News, whose news and rumors about Marvel Studios have been spot on, revealed that the Ghost Rider will be making a big comeback. Though he was not sure which iteration of the Ghost Rider would make an appearance, fans have let their imaginations run wild. They've even cast Ian Somerhalder as the Marvel Cinematic Universe's version of the Ghost Rider. They're also excited to see Johnny Blaze fight alongside Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight and Henry Cavill's Werewolf by Night. But take all this with the biggest grain of salt you can find, because there has been no official confirmation yet from Feige or any of the Marvel executives. All we can do is wait for Marvel to tell us more about Midnight Suns, so we can finally await the return of Ghost Rider. Marvelous verdict. There are so many Ghost Riders that it's a pity that we've only seen Johnny Blaze, Donnie Ketch, and Robbie Reyes in the movies. Who would you like to see next? The usual tried and tested options? The Guardian Phantasma Alejandra Jones? Or Vengeance himself, Mike Battolino? Let us know in the comments below, as we'd love to hear from you, and if you liked the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. We also want to ask you a tiny favor. Please subscribe to Marvelous Videos, as each subscription encourages us to do more videos. And don't leave without turning on the notifications. It helps you stay up to date with our content. We'll be back soon with more awesome content, but until then, take good care of yourselves, and goodbye!